Hello, my name's Carole. This is my channel Sew Carole. I'm in my sewing room today to show you some of my past autumn and winter makes. Now, the seasons are changing, the weather is getting a little more autumnal in the UK, and I went through my wardrobe the other day and do you know, I looked at some of these pieces and I'm actually quite excited to wear them again. So I thought I'd share with you some of the things that I have worn, and actually I can't wait to be wearing some really successful makes. Some of them I might repeat this year or do something similar. So I've got a bunch of patterns here. I've got my piles of clothes. I'm not going to try them on endlessly. I'm going to, with the help of my dilapidated assistant, I have got another mannequin, but she's busy at the moment. So I'm going to use my dilapidated one to show you some of my most successful things that I've made, and I just can't wait to wear them. Don't be alarmed, I do actually have a couple of indie patterns in here, but they weren't PDFs, they were actual proper patterns. So let's start, shall we? So this one I've made quite often, and it is the good old toaster sweater from Sew House 7. Simplicity do a similar version, but this is actually the toaster sweater, which when I make it, I do have to make it just a little bit longer because it is actually quite cropped, but I'm sure we all know this pattern. This was made out of a really lovely double knit that I got from somewhere. I think it was from Sew Essential up north online. But I love the cozy cuffs, and the high collar, but you can sort of flop it down, or I've got quite a short neck, so sometimes I've got to be a bit careful, but I can fold it over. But when I looked at that, I thought, yeah, I can't wait for that. Now, this was Butterick 6388, and this was a bit of a surprise about how successful it was. It's got beautiful kind of side panels here. I actually made the dress as well, and those side panels then become pockets. I absolutely loved this. When I made it out of this kind of Miles sweatshirt fabric. I just fell in love with it. It's got this beautiful crossover neck detail, so it's kind of cozy on the back of your neck, but not too kind of restrictive. I went on to make a couple of these, but this one has to be my favourite because it was out of a sweatshirt material. It's got this lovely kind of round yoke at the back, which I did did a decorative stitching using my cover stitch machine, but yeah, sorry about Mannequins Week, but yeah, I just loved this. Now, when I talked about the toaster sweater from Sew House 7, this is the Simplicity version. It's very, very similar. Simplicity 8529. I have made these sweatshirts so many times, but this is my favourite one because it's got navy and white, and it's got a tiny bit of the gold running through it. I did change the direction of the stripe for the cuff. It's got the side splits. If you make this, it's got a high-low hem, but I would say the slit comes up really high, so I always have to kind of lower it a bit. I think in some I've made more recently, I've lowered it even more. But it's a really good, easy, quick make, but makes a really kind of smart, kind of pull-on sweatshirt. Now, this was another absolute win from last year. It was Butterick 6859. I made this top here, and what makes it just that bit special is it's got a lovely bit of gathering detail here on the shoulders. It's got a knitted band waistband, so that's really not too tight, but just nice and cozy, and kind of you can sit it where you want to on jeans and things, and it's got the knitted cuff. I love this so much. This was the first version I made in this kind of mushroom fabric. You can see the gathers just a little better on that one. It's just wonderful to do. It's very easy. It's a raglan sleeve, and you've got to do a little bit of gathering, but I made this one first and I love this pattern so much. I then went and made this one out of this beautiful double brush poly, which I bought I think in America, and it was just wonderful. I still very much want to make this dress, so maybe that's the thing that I should be looking to do this autumn. But yeah, this was such a win. I couldn't go through autumn and winter stuff without showing you something we all had a bit of fun with last year. I think Jen, Trish, Andra, we all made one of these McCalls 8241, these kind of ponchos. The first one I made was this one, much longer version. I put some tassels on the end, and I use this so much. I do go running sometimes in the mornings, and when I come back you get chilly, especially in the winter, and this I used to just to throw on just to keep me that bit warm. I've used it down on the beach, I've used it away in our caravan. It's amazing. This is the second one I made, the shorter version, and it's kind of out of a sparkly knitted fabric, kind of more of a kind of evening one. We loved this pattern. It is great fun to do, so easy, and just a really handy little piece to have in your wardrobe. One thing I really like wearing in autumn and winter is a knitted dress with some thick tights and a pair of boots. That's kind of my style, and I always look forward to wearing that. And I've used this pattern quite often. It's New Look 6298. And I've made a few of the versions, but this one here is the round neck version with pockets. So I made this last year out of a kind of ponte, it's kind of a textured knit. It has got a knitted cuff on the bottom, which you can see there. I like that because it's hemming some kind of knitted garment like this doesn't look quite finished, but if you've got a hem band on the bottom, it does make it look a bit better. Now, when I made that one last year, I actually made a kind of knitted, had some fabric left over, so I doubled it over and made a kind of scarf to go with it, because at the end of the day, sometimes you need a bit more, don't you, if you're using a round neck. Sorry, that wasn't put on very well, but yeah, you kind of get the idea. But yeah, I really loved this, a kind of just sort of going out outfit. Now, when I was going through my wardrobe, I had forgotten all about this lovely piece here. Now, this was the Hoodie Hugs dress that Stephanie Farrell, her channel Stephanie Farrell Focus, created last year. She designed this hoodie hug dress. It's made out of knit. It's got slightly A-line sort of skirt. You can make it whatever length you want, honestly. It's got two pockets. It's got the hood, otherwise it wouldn't be a hoodie dress, would it? I lined it in a contrasting jersey. But I loved making this, and I wore it so often, just when you want to be a bit smarter but not too smart. Obviously thick tights, boots, perfect. So I think Stephanie still sells it on her Etsy shop, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's a really great little pattern. This was one of my most favourite evening blouses. This was Butterick 6813. And I made this version here with the sort of flutter sleeve cuffs. This worked really well because this is one of the rare viscoses that kind of looks the same on the back, on the reverse of the fabric, rather than being white. So that worked really well. If you did have kind of a white fabric, then really you should double it up there. I made the mistake last year of not bothering to do that, and I don't wear the top because I really don't like the look. But the thing about this top, it's got a back closure which you don't really need. The thing about this top is it had this wonderful tie detail here. I know it's hard to see because of the fabric, but it just cinched it in just that little bit and made that so nice, kind of a side detail. I really love this, and looking at it now, I just want to make another one right now because I've got the most perfect fabric. But yeah, I really loved it, really classy, lovely sleeves. So that was Butterick 6813. Now, I know I've said in the past that I don't wear skirts. I do in autumn and winter because I then put dark tights and boots on and I feel quite happy for some reason. I have made this skirt a lot of times. I've made it for my mum and I've made it for me. That's New Look 6579. I love it because of the pocket option You've got some kind of felt welt pockets there. You've got obviously the maxi skirt, but the version I've got has got these side pockets. It's really hard to see on that pattern envelope. But I made this a couple of years ago out of a needle cord, a beautifully kind of embroidered needle cord. And it's just a great skirt because it's got these two pockets in the front, nice deep pockets. Nothing on the back, but it's just a short little skirt that I wear with dark tights and boots, and this fabric was just beautiful. So yep, this is one skirt that I actually do have. Now this is a lovely waterfall cardigan that I've got that I made in quite a thick navy rib knit. It's beautifully soft and it's a really good quality fabric. It was Kwik Sew 3693. It's the waterfall version. I have made that version before, but that actually has no closures whatsoever. It's kind of it's got no zip or anything, and it's really weird, and I did make that once. But yeah, this is the waterfall cardigan. It is my go-to cozy cardigan, especially if we're going on holiday and we're on a plane. I just love it. I love the style of it, and I loved the fabric very much. The only thing I would say is the sleeves are quite long and they're still a little bit wide and a bit floppy. It could do with having a much narrower cuff if I ever made it again. But yeah, this is my go-to cardi. Now I don't think any wardrobe would be complete without a pair of kind of throw-on joggers. And I made these a few years ago. I've made them for my husband. They're the very famous Hudson pants. Yep, I made a couple for my husband, made a couple for me, made some short versions for me. I there's a additional pack, isn't there, for this, that where you can make it, because it's quite low rise, and I actually made it higher when I think I made the last pair. Now this pair I'm going to show very quickly, but they're actually quite grubby and need a good wash before I wear them again. But they've got this lovely split pocket detail, and these I made out of a super soft sweatshirt fabric. So that was one of the first jogger patterns that I ever discovered. I have got a lot of big fall patterns for joggers that I haven't done yet, which I might try this year. But yeah, if you're looking for an easy pants pattern and you like indie, then you can't go far wrong with a Hudson pack. But look out for the fact that you can, they're very low rise, but you can get the additional bit to make it a bit higher, or the instructions to do so. Can't quite remember because took a long time since I've done it. So there we go. Just even putting these on the mannequin has got me really inspired to make some stuff. I've got lots of autumnal fabric and I really want to get cracking and make some new versions of what I've got. But also I have a wealth of patterns here that I'm going to be delving into. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it's kind of inspired you to not get too fed up if you're in the UK and the summer's over. Actually, we got some really nice pieces and we've got some things to look forward to wearing all this cozy stuff. So thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me again on one of my #Friday sews or any other videos, and I will see you all very shortly. Goodbye for now.